testing course this time. 200 kilometers though from Kuurne, very close to Kortrijk in the heart of Belgian cycling country, through Oudenaarde, where you've got the Ronde van Vlaanderen, the Tour of Flanders finishing. Gerardsbergen, the famous moor, is not passed on this race, but there are 12 Hellingen or hills, many of them cobbled as well. The famous Quaremont is the 8th of the 12th. We've got Kleusberg, Tegenberg, Holstraat and Nokkerenberg to go before that final run-in back to Kuurne and in the Flemish area of Belgium. 83.6 kilometers to go, and this is the peloton led by Ian Stannard, chasing down a break of 9 riders, and they are on the top of the Oude Quaremont, one of the big places to be throughout the spring.
Section this is not necessarily the steep part of the climb that's difficult, but the falls flat over the top is where it really does hurt.
This is Denjak Štibor weather today. The cyclocross superstar turned to the road. No Tom Bonen today, by the way. Had to abandon after a couple of crashes at Omloop at Nieuwsblad yesterday. Overnight he's been home. He has a sickness bug, stomach bug. He is not racing today, so no sprint objective really today, unless they're going to go for Matteo Trentin for quick step. Hence the reason they're attacking the race. 9 up the road already. It's all over the place behind.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday as well. It was really hard racing all the way from very early on in the race, and it seems like today's tactics are no different. And certainly with Quickstep not having Bonen here, they want to try and effectively blow this whole bunch to bits and pieces and try and create.
Tony Martin making the selection from the favourites, and look at this one.
You tend to make mistakes because you can move all the time, you can put down the power, it's so easy all the time. And before, at the same time, if Greg van Avermaet's sitting on the wheels, then Peter Sagan is going to sit in the wheels, and Matteo Trentin is going to sit in the wheels, and all of a sudden you've got an awful lot of riders who don't want to take a turn, and no one else wants to work there.
So Devenijn, Štibor, Trentin, Lampaert are all in this group. We saw Rowe, Stannard as well. Sagan, Demar, Durbridge is the rider from Orica Scott there, as is Greg van Avermaet, the Olympic champion. Jean-Piet Drucker, Stefan Kung, Sylvain Dillier, 4 riders for BMC, and Olivier Naassen. And
that got you into a better position. So I'm kind of split ways about it, but
here we go again.
Luke is not happy about it either, I can see that, but now he's having to
join the party.
Well, he has to. If the other guys are going on there, then he has to do the same thing. And
shakes his head again. There's Luke Rowe, by the way. He's confident that the race is going to be won from this group.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain this is the case. Yeah, cut on his eye there.
How did it happen? Right-hand side here. Look at the wind. You can see Boivin there. A couple of parked cars. Riders coming across the road. Oh, that is very nasty.
That's Tony clipping that car there. That Mini goes parked there. Baptiste Plancard just gets on the wheel of the rider in front of him, and
Baptiste Plancard chasing on, trying to make it a group of 18 before he does get back on. It will be 70 first year at this level for Katusha. Baptiste Plancard signed from Wallonie Bruxelles. Started his World Tour career at the Tour Down Under at the start of the year. They had a very good year last year. Certainly in the Belgian races with the King of the Mountains at the Tour de Wallonie. 40 top 10s throughout the season in all of his races. I know he was racing, let's say, on the Europe Tour most of the year anyway, being in what was a 3rd level continental team, but some results for the 28-year-old. He won a stage in Czech Republic as well, GC at the Tour of Normandy, so he certainly earned his passage to the World Tour.
Yeah, I'd say so, definitely. And the fact that he's managed to ride himself back into this group here now, that's a pretty solid ride. In terms of racing so far, but
it's Denjak Štibor, pardon me. 34 seconds. Versteuven on the left-hand side in the red and black, winner of this race last year. Young rider who gave up a very promising career in medicine, actually, to carry on as a rider. Oh, and there's Plancard getting close to another parked car again. Second, Quickstep and company are coming. This is Jasper Stuyven coming back to the car. Have a quick chat with Dirk de Mol. Dirk de Mol driving and chatting. Dirk de Mol, who was Fabian Cancellara's sports director for quite a while. Nice to see Dirk de Mol actually Atkins. Extra time course. direction if you're riding a circuit.
Yeah, there certainly is, and it's a fairly technical final circuit as well, so it does changes around an awful lot, crosswind, headwind, tailwind, you name it.
Oh, look at that, they're in sight as they come to the line here. They are in sight as they come to the line. Bit of a prize for intermediate sprints there and time on the podiums, a few euros flying about. Racing like Roy Jans riding for Varane Classic now.
I still don't think we can count out Daniel De Maar and Peter Sagan.
Sturven has attacked. Sturven attacking on the left-hand side. Trek Segafredo, and De Maar is the man making the effort to try and chase him.
That's interesting.
There's very quickly a real group of young riders who look to be gelling nicely, led by John, chased down by the world champion Peter Sagan, who has made his move from in the professional ranks after coming through Axel Merckx's development squad in the United States of America. He was the junior world champion, and it's on around the streets of Kuurne itself. So Sturven's been joined. It is Trentin, Sagan, Sturven. Well, that'll be an interesting sprint between the two men behind. Trentin, of course, Grand Tour.
Even in that move, sort of hold back a fraction, because he did put an awful lot of big long turns in on the front. This, though, is 24 kilometers to go. It's very early to make a move like this.
Matteo Trentin. That's Benoot coming through behind as well for Lotto Soudal. Tish Benoot, who's a Rolls Royce of a young racer.
Greg van Avermaet just launching off there as well, trying to get across to Tish Benoot.
Van Avermaet should be coming into our screen now.
No.
With the jersey open there. I can hear a shout coming all the way from Abu Dhabi, and it's the scream of our colleague Rob Hales, who is obsessed by aerodynamics, was one of the great pioneers in that. He goes mad any time he sees a modern rider with this brilliant clothing they'll wear, with their jersey. 1 minute then for Sagan and company at the front of this race. That company, Trentin behind in the blue and white. Sturven, the Belgian.
He was on the move to try and get across, but he got across that gap very quickly indeed. Strong riding by Luke Rowe.
Rowe at the back in the black sky jersey with the blue.
And he's not holding anything back.
And he's pedalling away wonderfully.
Yeah, there certainly will be. There's no doubt about that. It looks like Tish Benoot and Luke Rowe really are still paying for that. Yeah, he didn't want. Maybe he didn't want the tarmac outside of his house. He thought, I can't like these old rustic cobblestones.
But we saw in a newsblad yesterday that they rode up it as if it was a Formula One circuit, not a cobbled climb.
Well, luckily when we get into Tour of Flanders, that climb will be absolutely packed with spectators, and you won't be able to ride on the tarmac. And I'm pretty sure that the Flanders.
37 seconds. Sagan has a quick look from the other side of the road at his competitors. Again, that quality bike handling. He knows the roads off by heart around here as well. It's a few years that he's... The most important being the Oude Quaremont, where we joined it. One of the Flandrian iconic climbs. After the Quaremont, though, this race hasn't quite been the worst Flandrian weather for the biggest, hardest and crazy bike riders, but it has been miserable enough for this.
Absolute paramount in this particular finish, and getting the jump on the right point.
Well, at least, as well as a lot of riders living locally and training here, they have had, with 2 kilometers to go, 2 looks at the finish, 2 approaches, 2 passages of the finish line. Surely they can't get it wrong.
Yeah, you can. See, it's a
is that a heat of the moment thing?
Yeah, it is. It is definitely, and it's very...
Further up the road.
And at this point, I would not move off Peter Sagan's wheel. But watch for the attacks coming from behind now, though.
Sagan waits, looks around, and they all watch him. Sagan, Trentin are the favourites in any sprint on paper, and I stress on paper. Benoot knows he probably has to take his chance. There's a laugh, there's a look around with Sagan, who even in adversity, even when having to hawkishly watch his competitors, can afford a smile and a laugh. It's Sagan, Trentin, Sturven, Rowe and Benoot here at the back. They're coming up to 1 kilometre to go, and they know that the rider's chasing behind. Sagan just lets the wheel go.
Trentin is just messing up. He needed to wait and let Sagan panic for it.
So they're inside the final kilometre in Kuurne Bruxelles Kuurne.
That's a bad tactical move, that is.
So Trentin is not exactly where he wants to be at the minute. Sturven as well, they look behind, they can still afford a mess about, but they know they cannot do that forever, Magnus. 800 metres still to go, and it's Trentin who's going to go. Trentin to go, they've got that turn coming up On the left-hand side then, he's going to be chased down by Luke Rowe. Trentin not fully committing first, looks around. It's not a great move, I have to say, from the Italian.
No, definitely not, and he has to back off here now. He's going way too hard, way too early.
So
But
Trentin
the group is coming around the corner here.
So Trentin looks behind, there are chasers on behind, attackers coming from behind, and they have to be careful because PMC are approaching. As you said, Magnus, it is
the whole bunch behind him as well
than it appears. It's going to be a really exciting finish to Kuurne Bruxelles Kuurne. Favourite still is Sagan here, 300 metres, and they've got to launch it, and here goes Peter Sagan, the world champion. Peter Sagan for Bora, Peter Sagan all the way, Peter Sagan opening a gap, 150 to go, surely it is, it's going to be a canter. Peter Sagan has had it. Peter Sagan is going to take the win. The world champion to win in Kuurne, and it is a first win in the rainbow stripes for Bora Hansgrohe.
Bit of a jump on the other guys as well. They were looking over their shoulders and missed Peter Sagan actually launching his sprint, and didn't need it to play. Look, Peter Sagan, perfect position, and everyone is he's spotted it. We're all looking forward, and he's gone before they even got out of the saddles.
2 wheel lengths already, 3 bike lengths now. That is a huge sprint, and we sort of called it there. It was pretty easy to see he was going to win, but he had to just make sure behind because Sturven put in a huge acceleration for second. So Sturven second, brilliant result for the Welshman, but it is a Slovakian victory. It's a world champions victory. It's Peter Sagan on the cobbles, and Bora as a world tour team have their first ever win.
Yeah, perfect tactical racing by Peter Sagan. He got himself onto the last wheel of that group, and as soon as he saw that everyone else was looking forward, he just did that jump, and at that point there was no one else really.
It was a whole different story today. That's
Peter Sagan wins Kuurne Bruxelles Kuurne ahead of Jas.